The top 5 best guns to use in Warzone 2. Now, let me do y'all a favor and jump right into it, man. This is the RPK. This is one of my go-tos here right now in Warzone 2. And with every build that I give you guys today, we will be discussing the tuning. Now, guys, make sure you have on these attachments. This is a long-range build for the RPK. Just letting you guys know that my AR builds are primarily built for the accuracy and the damage range. I'm not worried about the ADS speed, though, because it will be slow. Warzone 2 just has slow ADS in general. Make sure you guys have on these attachments. Now we're gonna go jump into the muzzle. We're gonna start out by increasing that bullet velocity, and I didn't even touch this side because I heard recoil smoothness basically does nothing for you. Jumping into the FTAC Ripper tuning, we're gonna increase that stabilization, that recoil stabilization all the way, and the aiming idle stability. Now normally I wouldn't touch this, but I did here, and I haven't really noticed anything different. For the high velocity rounds, make sure you increase the damage range and also increase the bullet velocity. And then for the demo and the optic, I do not have any tuning there. Jumping into the second gun, this is my favorite gun on Warzone 2, and I recently discovered it. Now, I know a lot of people like the Fennec 45, but this build is disgusting. You gotta trust me with this one here. Now, I saw this build online, and I'm not sure where specifically, but I did take it and adjust it to my liking. Guys, make sure you have on this build, jump into the muzzle. The tuning, we have the ADS speed maxed all the way out and the bullet velocity. For our secondary weapons, we're gonna do the opposite of what we do with the ARs and the long-range weapons. We're going to increase ADS speed, bullet velocity, and mobility. Jumping into the tuning for the shark fin underbarrel, we are going to increase the ADS speed there too. And then for the stock, we also have the ADS speed maxed out as well. There's no tuning for the mag. You got that 45 round mag, and no tuning for the Slim Line Pro as well. Now here we got one of my other favorite long range weapons. That is the TAC 56. This gun hits like a truck, and the accuracy is actually really great on it. Now let's go ahead and jump into the tuning of the muzzle. All I did was max out that bullet velocity. Like I said, I heard recoil smoothness does nothing, so I haven't really touched it much here. If you want to increase ADS speed, you're more than welcome, but be careful of the trade-off that you get with it. For the barrel, make sure you increase that damage range and that recoil steadiness. Guys, we want to be accurate, but we also want to have damage at our long ranges. For the grip, that underbarrel, that phase 3 grip, we increased the recoil stabilization and didn't touch anything down here. If you want to, you can increase that aiming idle stability though. And then there's no tuning for the magazine and the optic. Now guys, jumping into the next gun, the fourth gun on our list, that is the PDSW. Definitely think this P90 type build is one of the best SMGs in Warzone 2. Guys, make sure you have on this build specifically. And jumping into the barrel tuning, we have the aim walking speed increased all the way and the damage range as well. Now, you don't have to do this, guys. You can definitely increase that ADS speed if you wanted to instead of the damage range. I just wanted to mess around with this build, so for this tuning specifically, make it to your preference. For the stock, we increased that ADS speed again and also that aim walking speed. This build is kind of experimental, but I really enjoyed it. Next up is the comb tuning, and for that, we increased our recoil stabilization and the ADS speed. And then for our rear grip, we also increased the ADS speed there, and a really important thing here, if you have sprint to fire speed, always max that out. We got the sprint to fire speed maxed out here. And then there's no tuning for the sight, so that completes the P90 build. And then guys, for our last and final gun, we're gonna go back to a gun that we've already talked about. That's the TAC 56. This gun is so good, and there's so many different ways to run it, but we're gonna take this build and adjust it to be a good long range, medium, and close range build. It's gonna start without having a sight on it. So jumping into this new build, these are what all the pros are using, or some variation of this build. We're gonna start by jumping into the Echo Line tuning. All we're gonna do here is increase the bullet velocity. After that, we have the barrel tuning, and for that, we increased our recoil steadiness so we could be accurate, but we also increased our damage range. Now, this will still have a slower ADS, but this build is so freaking good. Jumping into the FTAC Ripper 56 tuning, we increased our recoil stabilization and didn't touch anything down here. Again, tuning is where you can take the build that I give you and make it more your preference, so adjust this if you need to. After that, we are jumping into the rear grip, the FSS Combat Grip tuning, and we also increased the recoil steadiness here. And then there is no tuning for this 60 round mag, so that completes today's video.